Hello everyone, and peace of Christ to all of you. Today we are going to teach you good manner. Good manner is very important, especially if you are going to convert to Islam or you are a Muslim. We don't accept. Let us make it clear. We don't accept anything except having holes in the narrative. This is the only thing is allowed. And as you see in this cloth here, the Prophet is a very conservative man. He will not allow the women to show her face, but he designed a special dress with holes in the narrative. So Prophet Muhammad, who taught people how to be people of good manner, how much his manner was good. Now, we will not question how many rape he did, etc. But today, we have Dr. Yasir Qadhi, Dr. Hole in the narrative. Previously, Yasir Qadhi is going to explain to us how the Prophet, he was practicing his good manner. And I hope that this will be not a great example for men in real life. Go ahead, Hole in the narrative.
And this is an incident that the books of tafsir mention more than the books of seerah, because the Quran was revealed for this incident, and therefore the books of tafsir mention this story. And once again, so with Maria, there's all of these mini stories that are problematic from one perspective, and this is also one of them. And again, I reiterated, it's better you hear it from me than from others. And also, this is in the Quran, so you can't really, like, this is a verse in the Quran. It is reported in Tabari that, and many other books of tafsir, that one day Hafsa went away and she was not going to be at home, and so the Prophet called Maria to the house of Hafsa, and it so happened that Hafsa returned earlier than she was supposed to, and she saw Maria leaving her house. So she became extremely enraged, and she became irritated with the Prophet ﷺ, and she said that, Ya Rasulullah, is that how much, how do I translate this, respect you have for me, or is that what you think of me in my house and on my day? And so the Prophet ﷺ continued to placate her and calm her down, and she basically was very emotional, and until eventually she made the Prophet ﷺ promise to never ever see Maria again. And the Prophet ﷺ said, I have made her haram for myself. Okay, khalas, I give up. Basically, Maria is haram for me. I will never see Maria. I swear to Allah, by Allah, I'm never going to see Maria again. And he told Hafsa, he made Hafsa basically keep this between the two of them, and he said, do not tell Aisha. And this shows
what a story, what a prophet. And look, he did not tell us what happened. So the Prophet, he called Mary the Copt to come to his house. Okay, what happened inside the house? And then his wife, she came and she saw Mary the Copt leaving the house. Oh, are you sure this is the story? The story doesn't say that. She cut him in the bed. That's why she said to him, in my bed, in my house, you filthy coward, son of Muta. And look, they are talking about the best man they have, and that best man, when the wife go away, he called the maid, who is not lawful for him. You see, the Muslims, when they try to give you some information, they say to you in the Quran, it says, it is lawful for you to have sex with whatever you own in your hand. But the Quran make it clear, the one you own in your hand is the prisoners of war. Mary the Copt, she is not a prisoner of war. She is a slave who was given to him as a gift. If you go to any verse in the Quran and you can read the interpretation made by Muslims, by the Muhammadan, by all the holes of the narrative doctors, you will see they will say to you that the one you own in your hand are the captive of war. So the Quran make it clear that a captive of war, you can rape them. But there is nowhere in the Quran it says that a woman, she is your slave, not from captive of war, you can rape her, or you can sleep with her, or she is lawful for you. So Islam make it clear that you can rape women who you kidnap them from their husbands, but you cannot rape women who they are just your servants. Mary the Copt is his servant. And just to show you how filthy this cult, there's a story about a woman. I posted the hadith reference. This is like not only one hadith in the video info. You can click and you can open them. But this is the book of Al-Musannaf, page number 550. But this hadith exists in many places. It's not only one. They are giving you reference of many hadith. About a Muslim woman, she did marry. She married, not sleep. She wanted to marry, not to sleep with the guy. Remember, with a slave she owned. The Caliphate Umar, he did beat the hell of her, and he killed her, according to some reference. وَأَقَامَ عَلَيْهَا الْحَدِّ. Some they say because she is single, he did only give her 100 whip. So look at this filthy. I'm going to click translate to English. Let's see how we translate. I think we have to click here. All right. So look how filthy this religion is. Muhammad, he can sleep with the maid who is not a slave, and she is not married to him. A woman, a Muslim woman, she cannot sleep with her slave even if she is going to marry him. And actually she cannot marry a slave. Do you see how filthy this cult is? And there is some people, they believe that, you know, the Muslim told them that Islam make people equal. Abu Bakr told us that Muhammad, etc., blah, 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 from, okay? That a woman, she have servant get married from her. And it was said to her, this is a translation in Google, as you know, and said, you know, I mean, translation is very horrible here. And she said, well, you know, isn't it the Quran says it is lawful for you to have relationship with your hand own processed, or, you know, the one you own them by your hand? They took her to the Caliphate, Umar, and Umar, he said to her, how you do that? Who allowed you to do that? And as a result of this, he did beat her 100 times. You cannot do that. A man, he can sleep with his slave. This woman, she is not even sleeping with the slave. She married the slave. Yet she cannot do that. Do you see the irony? Do you see how filthy this cult is? Why? Because she is a free woman and he's a black man. And this is an insult to the black man, to the white man, to see a white woman marrying a black man, and he is her slave. Now the translation here is not too much good, so I'm going to go to the Arabic page. It says here, عن بكر from Bakr, it says, تزوجت امرأة عبدها فقيل لها فقالت أليس الله يقول وما ملكت أيمانكم فهذا يملك يميني. Isn't it Allah, she said to him, okay, I marry a slave, but isn't it Allah, he says, and it's lawful for you what you own by your hand? And here they say, and she married him without a proof that this is true. And then, you know, they ask her, how you do that? She said, well, I am thayyib, which means she is not virgin, you know, she have a previous relationship or marriage, and I have decided to marry this guy. So they took her to Umar, the Caliphate, and then people, they gather like maybe hundreds or thousands, and they ask him to judge on her. And then Umar, he said, by the book of Allah, I'm going to punish you 100 lash for each one of you. And then he said, أيما امرأة تزوجت عبدها أو تزوجت بغير ولي فهي بمنزلة الزانية. Any woman, she marry her slave, or she marry without permission of her father, she is a fornicator. Can you believe it? So Muhammad, he can sleep with his slaves, which is a cheating. The wife, she leave the house. Muhammad, he called the slave who is not owned by his hand. She is not considered. She is just a slave, not a captive. There's a slave who is a captive, and there's a slave who is bought by money. The Quran never said anywhere. I challenge all the Muslims to show me where in the Quran it says you can have sex with a slave you bought him by money, or you bought her. Same time, not only it's not lawful for Muhammad to do that, this is a cheating. The man, he have many wives. Why he need more? Why he's after the servant? What a man he want? I took this part here, the one I copy in the screen, and I took it to Google Translation. You can do the same. You know, this is the page, it's in the info. You can copy the same part, or you can, like, you know, in order to get better translation, just like copy part by part, so you can get better translation in Google. When it get long, it get lost. Umar, he said, whichever woman marries her slave or marries without guardian, she is an adulterer. This is Google Translation. How come if the Prophet, he sleep with the slave, he's not married, he's a good man? And how in the world people who believe in a Prophet, they believe he is the most decent person, they think there's nothing wrong in this man asking the servant to come to the house so he can sleep with her as soon as the wife, she left the house.
And this is an incident that the books of tafsir mention more than the books of seerah, because the Quran was revealed for this incident, and therefore the books of tafsir mention this story. And once again, so with Maria, there's all of these mini stories that are problematic from one perspective, and this is also one of them. And again, I reiterated, it's better you hear it from me than from others. And also, this is in the Quran, so you can't really, like,
you notice here, you better hear it from me than from others, because this is bad. This is our Prophet. We have a fornicator who speak against fornication. We have a fornicator who said that he's a prophet, and he is the one who stoned people to death for fornication. So the fornicator who practiced fornication every day, he stoned you to death for fornication, but yet he practiced it as a lifestyle.
Like, this is a verse in the Quran. It is reported in Tabari that, and many other books of tafsir, that one day Hafsa went away and she was not going to be at home, and so the Prophet called Maria to the house of Hafsa, and it so happened that Hafsa returned.
It so happened, Hafsa, how dare you? I mean, he did not, you know, I mean, wait until he, you know, she's done and she go. And you see here, the coward, he did not say what happened. I mean, okay, she called her to the house to do what? To clean the house, to make coffee. They are ashamed of their Prophet. They are ashamed of the story. And now he's trying to cover the story because it's there anyway. We are talking about it. He's not saying, he said, you know, you better hear it from me. They heard it from us before you, you coward. We force you to talk about it. The same as the holes of the narrative. So this is a prophet of God who will go after you. He will kill you if you do fornication. But he is the biggest fornicator ever. His name is the fornication prophet, and we were in short video with Mr. Dr. Holes in the Narrative. Previously name was Yasir Qadhi. Thank you very much for joining us. Please download the video and share it. And for those who are asking about taking calls from Muslims, we did not stop taking calls from Muslims. You have a wrong idea. We said if a Muslim willing to debate us, I will take him anytime. All right? Anytime. We don't stop taking calls from Muslims. Just find me, Holes in the Narrative Doctor, and I will take his call anytime. Deal? We did not stop taking calls, but I don't want to waste my time just speaking to kids. At least when we speak, I want somebody he knew what he's talking about. All right. So get me a hole in the narrative, doctor. Any hole in the, that doesn't matter what his name, Yasir, Qadhi, Susu, Fufu, I don't care. Just get me any hole in the narrative, doctor, and I will be happy to take his call anytime. And now, if there is a hole in the narrative here exists, he would like to call me, I will open my Skype for you, specifically for your holes. As you see, we have too many holes in this dress. All right? So I want to say thank you. We want to keep this video short, as we promised the Indonesian, to make videos for them almost every day, so they can translate and share. We cannot make it 5 minutes, as you see, but I think this is short, still good. Thank you very much for being here. We will try to go back again live on air, maybe today, if we can. It's very cold here, and my windows are covered by ice, so I can't even see through the windows. So thank you very much. I don't want to have holes in the narrative of my windows. It's cold already. And the Prophet is a decent man. He can have sex with his servant, but you cannot do that. And if the woman, she want to do that, we are going to kill her, or we are going to whip her, because a woman, she cannot do that. This is not decent. It's decent for the man to do that, but it's not decent for the women to do that. Do you see the double standard of this filthy cult? Do you see how garbage this man is? May Allah bless your holes, and may Allah bless the narrative of the Prophet. For the blessing of Allah is holes of the narratives. See you, and take care. God bless.